Boys and girls, I hope you all are well in these trying times and that you are safe. We have a slightly grayish, sunny, overcast day here in Sweden. Alright, I have a cat examining my webcam. And I'm gonna do a short midday report of my new Call of War New Zealand campaign. And if you have watched day 1 and day 2, you will notice that the game looks quite different. And that is because I decided to try out the Steam Windows standalone client. And apparently this has a different engine or view to it. Maybe you can go back to the classic. I just started it, so I really... Let's see if we can go back to the classic. Build bug, morale, relations, promise names. Disable. Okay, if I disable the enhanced graphics, now you can tell I'm going back to. But yeah, okay, right. So what you can do is in the standalone client you can run the advanced graphics. I'm not even sure I prefer the new ones over the old ones, to be honest. But let's try that out for today's stream. This is the new enhanced graphics. It's possible that you can enable this in the web browser version as well. What I notice is when I move the map around, there's quite a lot of less lag or delay, or how should I put it. So this is definitely more enjoyable to play. And when you select a division, I often had to refresh my browser using Chrome. Anyway, this seems to be a better solution to play this way. Alright, so what happened since day 2? Day 3, we have, during the night, when I was asleep, I sent my mobile forces around in these clear and hilly terrain, and I think there was a combat over here somewhere, because they took a little bit of damage, my motorized and tank units, but they cleared out. And my infantry army marched through Canberra down to Melbourne and captured 2 more cities. They don't have any structures in them. Morale is down to 25% since they're newly conquered, and now I'm marching up here into the mountains to fight a single infantry unit, and I'm gonna capture the city of Mildura. Never heard of that town actually, to be honest. Mildura, maybe it's a major town in Australia. I really don't know. Why I don't think my battleship's gonna be able to take this out because it's too far from the coast. And I don't want it to be marching around and recapturing provinces, so I'm gonna just bite the bullet and attack and kill this before I go up into... I might lose an infantry or 2 doing this early war conquest spree of my first AI nation. And I'll use my motorized forces here to take out a couple of forces on the edge before I start the conquest of the next territory. What I noticed is that this middle nation of Australia, called Central Australia, is actually an AI nation. So per definition it could never be played by human. That is new for me, and it only has 1 town, and conveniently enough it is placed quite close to my coastal and invasion army. The rest of the territories would be nice, of course, but cities are the most important. So I guess Central Australia might be my next capture. These nations tend to have fewer forces than the playable nations. That's what I should call them. With 5 cities, they should have, I think, 15 infantry as a starting setup. So even if the AI doesn't build anything, you have to kill or eliminate 15 units, and that will always cost you some losses, no matter how you do it. That's not correct. With air and artillery and battleships, you suffer very few losses. But if you march around with tanks or a stack of infantry, you will gain some losses while taking out. So generally, it's preferable to take out AI nations. They're easier to take out. On the islands up here, I have managed to invade finally the island nation of Suva. Uh, they pulled off a rather nasty AI trick that they marched down to the coast, to the very edge of the coast, and so they opposed my invasions, which meant I took some pretty serious losses, both to my infantry stack and also to my invading destroyer or tank force. And so look, one of my infantry units almost died, so I decided to go back to Nuema here, the first island I took, and have it repair there and upgrade and regain some strength. And later on I can use this to clear up these islands here when my new battleship have eliminated those forces with its shore bombardment capability. These islands have no resources on them, so basically I'm just buffing my stats and gaining some manpower and money. It's not important. I am camping those islands with a submarine, so if they decide to leave and try to reconquer the capital, I hope to be online enough to intervene to intercept them and eliminate them. This island here has a resource, food, but I think I'll just skip it and go for the, what's it called, Saleluluga. These are unfamiliar territories to me. I know they fought over them during the Second World War. This should be Guadalcanal, I think. Munda, Buala. Maybe they're independent now, and these are their names. I thought these were Commonwealth protectorates. Anyway, they're independent in Cold War. Doesn't really matter. Anyway, after this, I could either go over here and capture these territories here, but it's too far. So I'll take these islands here, which has rare resources, which is not quite what I want since I have a huge stock of rare resources already. But you know, more land is better. Yeah. Being New Zealand, I'm able to leave my homeland barely, mostly undefended. I have a small navy. I'm planning to build another battleship and use it to clear out Tasmania and then crawl along the coast and take out forces along the southern Australian coast. I would like a third battleship as well to use along the northeastern Australian coast to take out garrisons there. They're not that expensive battleships in these new. I'm building a second one already, and as you can tell, they cost. Let's check the cost of a battleship. It costs you 1,200 iron. I think that was 4,000 in the previous version. So battleships are clearly at least level 1. But since there is a cost to upgrade, I suppose that you will have to pay an upgrade cost to get it to level 2 and level 3, which means that I could basically use level 1 battleships because they suffer no damage at all while firing on ground forces inland. So maybe level 1 battleships is the way to go in this new version. Let's examine my resources. I have some goods, 10,000. I have a lot of manpower, some iron, some fuel, but food is very scarce, and money as well. So I sold off some food, as I said in the beginning. That's something you should not do in this new version. I am trying to improve my food production by building a level 4 industry. Now industries are starting to take 24 hours and a lot of resources to build. But I also would like to set up an artillery factory because they take a long time to sail from my main islands and march to the front. So maybe an artillery factory in Australia and build an artillery stack to take out inland garrisons is the way to go. So that's something I'm aiming to do within the next couple of days. Other than that, I think we're doing quite well. If I examine you cannot see how many territories any longer, but you can examine. People have 100 points, which I think means they taken 10-point cities. Maybe you start with, it looks, do you start with 50? It seems, yeah, 10 VP per town. That makes sense. Okay, so some players already taken 5 VP locations. I apparently have taken 3. 3, 10. Okay, that makes sense. The capital of Australia here, Sydney, is worth 10. Canberra is also worth 10. Newcastle is worth 10. Melbourne is worth 10. So, okay, so I don't think the game has updated. Maybe it does that every 20. Okay, this town, Noumea, 10. Luganville should be 10. Every town is 10 victory points. I don't think the game has updated from the last day. I should have a lot more than 80. This is 1 in New Zealand and 2 islands. That makes sense. Last day update, I probably had 3 captured towns and 5 original ones, and now this number is going to go up. So really, this is kind of old news, but we have a couple of players that are actually playing this campaign, this map, and are gaining. I haven't examined. I haven't like checked out the map. Okay, you can tell that Seattle, whatever this is called, Northwest USA. They're expanding. They're taking out one full AI nation. They're expanding northwards to another, through another AI nation. Again, he will have to kill 15 inland infantry here. He has already killed 15 inland infantry here, which means he has to split his army into 2, and he had to grind through that. So, hopefully he's taken some losses. Since it's an anonymous round, I have no idea. Roland Hill Hartley. That's a strange name for a human player. Right, since it's anonymous, this doesn't change. This is the AI name of the Prime Minister, and I have no idea who's playing this game. I don't know his level. I don't know his skill. Yeah. I see the game host. Okay, I don't know. But anyway, there will be a few opponents, human opponents. This guy, though, is probably the closest human opponent that I can see that's been expanding. So maybe I should rush and send an invasion force and kind of try to cut him off here, take out one of these islands, or like check out if there are any important resources, like, oh, double iron, that's something I want, and set up an early base pretty far away, send a battleship and a small army of infantry and just take a base and prevent him from going out here in the islands. Hopefully he will expand in land inwards and don't build up a strong navy. We'll see. That is days away. That's not something that's going to happen soon. But obviously, taking out all of Australia to be my main power base is my primary goal for the next, I don't know, 3-4 days, maybe a week. I don't know how long it's gonna take. As you remember, Allied forces have as their one disadvantage that they move slower. How much slower? I don't know. But Doctrine says that I have decreased unit speed. It would be nice to know if it's 10, 20% or 15%, whatever it is. Yeah. Since the game is so slow in itself and I'm in no hurry to advance, I don't feel that that's such a big disadvantage, decreased movement speed. Anyways, I think that's all I have to say. That was a nice little 15-minute summary of day 3 of New Zealand. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you do, feel free to follow, subscribe, and like. And I need more viewers on Twitch, more subscribers, a few more to reach 50, which would make me an official streamer, something title. So I would appreciate if you do that. Thank you very much, and have a pleasant new month of December. I hope you'll have a great wait for Christmas, and be safe out there. Take care. Bye bye for now.